Okay,
right,
well, we're
let's-
gonna go to
Let's
Johnny.
bring Johnny up here. Hey, Johnny.
Hey there.
Hey, Trey, can you set Johnny up for co-host? For when we have to mute everybody? So he can unmute
Johnny?
himself?
Johnny, are you on John? You can, anybody can unmute themselves anyway. Is it Johnny's iPhone?
Yes.
Right. Johnny, you lost a lot of weight. We can barely see you.
Yeah. Well, that's because I got my iPad on so I can see what's going on with my iPhone.
Okay.
So
I
it's on
got
my-
you now.
There you are.
All right. Let me get here real quick. Some of what I'm working on here. If I can get this thing. Play. Come on, phone. There we go. This is what I'm making today. These are just little coffee scoops. They're hold 2 tablespoons of whatever you want to put in them, and that's what I'll be making here today. So I have one in the back in pecan, one out of maple, one out of mahogany, and this was made out of Purple Heart and maple.
My son-in-law took the safe, he unbolted it from the floor, picked it up, and carried it out to his car. And I know that sucker weighed a half a ton. Of course,
Okay. We're back to Johnny, I hope.
Yeah, guys.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and switch over here. And, this little bracket. Somebody here. I think it was Dane, actually.
What's that?
I'm going to put my iPhone in this little bracket here to be sure everybody can see here. So let's do that.
There we go.
All right. Can you see
That's a
that?
great angle. That's perfect.
Is that too much light?
No,
No, that seems fine.
Okay. Sometimes I got a lot of light here and it'll white things out. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with a piece here that is, this is mahogany also, and it is 2 inches by 2 inches by about 3.5 there, I think it is. And this is just 3/4 by 3/4 and about 6.5 inches long, and that'll be the handle when we get to it. Okay. So I'm going to start out between centers, and we'll do that. Let's I've already marked the centers on these. Can you still see that, everybody?
Looks beautiful.
Yes, sir. Looks good.
Perfect.
If anybody has any questions anywhere along the line, just speak up. I'm going to put my mask on and hopefully you'll still be able to hear my face shield anyways. Okay, and basically what I'm going to do is just kind of round it out for now, put a tenon on one end and go from there. So that's we can move up and down here. Okay, I'm gonna measure some of my tenon. There. Highlight it a little bit. Back with my band. There, put a little bit of dovetail on it. Good. That's close enough till we get it into chuck. And you can do this without a chuck. Just use a glue block, get it in there. And that'll work. Really a pretty basic thing. For those that don't have a chuck, you can always use a glue block.
Johnny, what'd you use to make your tenon with? Got a question.
Bedan,
But Dan,
yeah, bedan.
And then it looks like you fine tuned it with a scraper.
Yeah, I did. I just took basically a scraper there to put the dovetail in it. But that's the bedan. It's kind of a French tool there, but
You bump it at a high speed then, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my wages are
Oh,
done or
all right.
over when I'm
oh, got to do some muting here.
Okay.
Who got on? Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I got him. That's the third time I think that I've had to mute him.
No, thanks, Doug.
Okay. Look at that. It's just about round. Go ahead and switch over to a skew here to kind of smooth it out.
Boy, that's a good slicing cut. Wow.
There we go. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these others and use it for just one example. This is the Purple Heart. This is one I did this afternoon, and it's not glued together yet. So this is going to be the handle that we're turning now. Basically, I'm going to lay it up here and mark it off the way I want it. I want to leave a little bit on each end so I don't have a dimple in there. And there and there. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So now, all right. Go ahead and mark these. So here. There. There. And just a little bit there. They don't have a dimple in it. And going in there with the bidon.
Can't hear you no more, Johnny.
Not talking.
Automatic dropout on his telephone is cutting out because of the sound of the lathe.
Read some of that. Then I'm just gonna roll a bead here on the end. That's basically going to be our handle right there. Still got to cut this down to a quarter of an inch, but there's a couple of things I want to do first. I'm going to burn in a couple lines here. So this is just my little burn wire here. Put a handle on both ends. You don't want to hold it with your fingers because it could just hot, plus the fair finger off, it does get caught. So we're just gonna come here. Build up a little smoke. That's black. Okay. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit to about 600 RPM. Give it a quick hit with some sandpaper. Just kind of round everything off. Because once I get this other end down to a 1/4 inch, it's gonna be kind of light there to fool bit. Okay. Blow some of that off. A little bit on my feed. Up. Speed a little bit. I'll get this down to a 1/4 inch. See that? I've got a little 1/4 inch tool here. You can tell it's got a ways to go here. Okay, we got a 1/4 inch there. And that'll give us that. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna part this thing off, call it a handle. Gonna part off with a skew, so I'll get a smooth edge. Well, this end here will wind up having to be ground off. This end. It's off my feed. Okay, so there we're gonna part it off. Using the skew to part it off, because I want to finish in on this end. We got our handle. This other little piece here on the end, I'm gonna cut off with a barber plate saw here. I'm just gonna lay it there. Knock it off of there. Little piece of sandpaper right here will take care of that in 1 minute. But that's the finished handle that's gonna go in there. And it is a 1/4 inch. The reason it's an inch is we're getting ready to put this back in the chuck, drill a 1/4 inch hole in it.
Johnny, I got a question real quick.
Sure.
What's the angle you got on that gouge,
On the what?
on the gouge?
On the gouge? Which one?
Yeah, that one.
This one?
Yep.
That's a detailed spindle.
Okay.
I really don't know what the angle is, but I can tell you real quick. I don't want to do that. Like this. Bear with me 1 minute there. That thing right there is 42 degrees.
All right. Thank you.
But that's just a detailed spindle gouge with a very shallow flute. Okay. That's simple. Now, take this one out. I use a step for a lot of these little things like that. Step center has a spring-loaded point in it, so it doesn't go real far. You can see the point goes in as you use it, and it's got the teeth to grip it. And even the live center, I use the step center. So what I do is put the chuck on here.
How many chucks you got in that drawer there, Johnny?
I don't know. There's 13, 14.
Oh my goodness.
I don't like to change jaws much. But yeah. Okay. Hopefully this is gonna fit right into there. Basically, I use basically 3 different types of chucks there. So. We're going to center. I got it squared up on the face of the chuck. I got my chuck a little wider than I like it. That ought to hold it. Stays in there. What do you think? Okay. Moving right along here. Need to measure. And I'm going to drill this out now that I've got it in the chuck. But before I drill it out, I'm going to mark off where the body is, and my piece is going to be right about here. So what I want to do is take a pencil here. I'm going to mark out the center section. You'll notice the center section here is a little bit wider than the others. And I did that because that's your only glue area there to glue the handle in. That's gonna be my center band there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and drill it now before I take it down to size and drill out the inside of it. Because this will keep from getting tear out on the inside. And we don't want tear out on it. Because you see all that on the inside of the handle there. I'll face it off real quick. Nice there. That. You can do this a bunch of ways, but I'm going to use a 1/4 inch brad point bit to reduce the tear out on the outside as well as the inside. We're going to measure that precisely to get the center. You don't have to go forward because it's not going to be very thick right there. And that's all there is to the handle hole, 1/4 inch hole. Now that we've done that, we'll go ahead and drill out the inside. Got a little piece of blue painter's tape on here. That's going to be 1.5 inches from there to the end here. I've already marked that. Take this out of the way. And we're going to drill it for 1.5 inches here. For that, I'm going to turn the speed down a little bit. That's good enough. We're going to drill a little bit. Pull it out. Tighten that chuck. You can't drill it like this with all kinds of wood, but with this mahogany, it's very soft, and you can just punch right into it. So. There goes our hole.
What size Forstner bit is that?
That is a 1 3/8 inch.
I have a question.
Because I'm going to turn this outside down to 1 3/4 inch. I'll turn it down and mark it and measure it. There's another little handy dandy Harbor Freight device you can use for measuring the center there. That's how deep it is right now. So I'm going to mark it back over here, and we're going to go a little further back. I need to leave some room. I'm going to make a little extra room on here. I'm going to mark this about there. But I want these 3 pieces to be all about the same. And we can handle that. Okay. So the Forstner bit there's a little bitty dimple down there at the bottom of that hole. And I don't know how to show you that, but everyone knows what a Forstner bit does. And you can turn that out several ways. You can use anything you want to turn that out of there. A little bit. But I've never had coffee grounds complain, so but we're gonna do it anyways. What I have here is a scraper that I've modified to be a box scraper. It's straight on one side. It's got a rounded end on the end. So when you want to scrape the sides of it, it'll run right down the sides and smooth out the sides. And then you just rotate it around to take out that little nub in the middle there. Okay, and it's just a straight scraper. Or at least it was before I ground it down. See what I'm looking at here. I got most of it out right there. We're gonna make another pass through here. And you could use a carbide tip or anything you want. If you want to take that dimple out, leave the little dimple as far as that goes. But I got the idea for this scraper from Jimmy Clues. At the time, that's what he was using when I watched him several years ago. And I actually took his scraper and patterned this one after it, drew it out on paper, and then ground this one down to work. So that number 8 there, that's not the number 8 scraper. That is what I grind them on. On my grinder, they're all numbered over there. So whatever angle I'm putting on here, that's what number's on there. You'll see the same thing on Hughes of 2.5. So that way I know where I'm setting it. So I can go back and I get the same angle every time. All of them. Even the B-Dam's got a number 5 on it. Okay. So we've done that. Now, shape this thing up the way we want it. Don't go too forward with the cue on that. Shape it down.
Members, if you're just joining us, this is Johnny Hughes out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And he's doing what I think you would call a coffee scoop. It'll hold about 2 tablespoons of coffee. He's doing this out of 2 different pieces of wood, or 2 pieces of wood, pardon me. And we're showing you some technique here. So if you follow along with us, and we'll go back to gallery following this, including the video gallery from last week and this week. And we'll be taking your questions and et cetera, et cetera. So stick around with us. It's about 1/4 to the top of the hour. And we're here on worldwidewoodturnings.org.
Okay. Have a good time to try my handle there, see if it's gonna fit. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so now we've pretty well got the shape we want here. down. Come in here. Now would be the time that I would sand that. I'm just gonna hit it real quick. Come back over it at a later date. Turn my speed down. I like to sand around 600 or so. I don't like to stick my finger all the way in there, so I use a roll of sandpaper there to sand the inside. Good way to lose a finger, by the way. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make these grooves a little bigger, and I'm going to burn lines in there where these are. Okay. Same burning wire, same thing I've been using for years here. Just gonna put it down there, put a little pressure on it. We're gonna turn the speed up, the burn speed.
I ho sober.
Make a little smoke. There we go. Let's see here. And that's good enough to scoop coffee with. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take it out of this chuck. And part off the bottom of it. And let's see here. Right chuck. I use the set screw in the back. Quite often I sand in reverse also. Once I've loosened that up, just gonna take the chuck off. That's a handy little chuck, by the way. That's the Record Power SC2. And now you see why I went with 1 3/8 hole down the middle. For one, I know that that's going to be exactly 2 tablespoons in there. For 2, it'll fit right over that chuck.
You've done this a couple times before, Johnny.
Yeah, this is not my first rodeo, but it's close. Let's see here. We're gonna push that on there. Push it up. And we're gonna expand the jaws. Not enough to crack it open, but enough to hold it on there.
So Johnny, why are you turning it around to take it off instead of leaving it the way you had it to take it off?
Well, it's just easier. It's not gonna go anywhere on the chuck. And if I parted it off with a parting tool there, of course, I just have to reach it, part it, and I'll get a smoother finish this way. Because I'm gonna turn this off and I'm gonna come back with my, cut the face off smooth. So
Okay, I got you.
otherwise you'd have tear out, especially in this mahogany.
More clearance.
Yeah. Gotta remember clearance there.
Yeah, he's a good friend to everybody.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna use the tailstock. I like to use the tailstock as much as I can, whenever I can. It just, it's a handy little device. And it can save you wearing a piece of wood.
I noticed you never locked the tailstock.
Pardon me?
You never locked the tailstock.
No,
Oh, okay.
I check it. If I'm gonna be turning any length of time, I always check it, just to make sure. But it, someday it may all back off, but it wouldn't matter because you're stuck on this truck anyways.
Brenda, if you see the way he's slicing it, he's going downhill on that end grain. If he did it with a parting tool, it would tear. But right now, he's getting a sanded finish.
Here's another little tool I picked up from watching a bald-headed guy out in Atlanta there one time. I didn't see him on here tonight, though. But now I'm just gonna turn that out where it's nice and smooth. You couldn't do this with a parting tool. But this grind, and I don't know if you can see it there, but it is, I got that from Mark Soleil. He showed me how to do that. And he and Cindy Droz use about the same grind on there. It doesn't show up real well there, but it's,
Like a fingernail.
yes, it's a real steep fingernail. That's his wood slicer there, but and Cindy's works the same way.
You don't want to Mark Soleil's demonstrations, hand him your gouge, he'll do it, he'll grind it for you.
He sure will. But that's where I got that from, was from Mark Soleil. And the one on the left here, Cindy Droz did. But that's for doing fine detail work, you can't beat that. That is just as smooth as smooth gets there. But I'm gonna sand it anyway. One thing I do that I don't know, a lot of people probably do it too, but once I get it sanded down to 320, what I do is I'll spray it down with water to raise the grain. And that's before I use anything on it, sealer or anything. There again, I'm gonna turn it down. Get it down about 650 or so. Hit it with a little 180. Just to make sure there's nothing in it, no gouges or anything. Remember, we already sanded the other part. So right now I'm just working on the bottom. Normally I have the dust collector on for this, but I didn't think the noise would work well.
Johnny, who you get your sandpaper from?
This come from Vince.
Vince, okay.
Vince's Wooden Wonders there. He's got it's almost like an automotive. It's got a foam pad on the back. Your fingers don't get hot. It just it works well. And I've got it in everything from 80 up to 1,000 grit. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do 1,000 grit on the coffee scoop. If I guarantee you, the coffee will never complain. I'm here at 180, 220, 320. And I'm gonna back it up and run it backwards for a little bit. Just to make sure I got it all. That's at 320. Here before, so there's a piece right in here. Okay, this is, I'm gonna do this, but I'm not gonna take the time to sand it again. Tell by the clock on the wall, I don't know what's the now one here. But this is what I would do normally. Down this newspaper here from Antique Newspaper, so it's worth a lot.
We don't have those in.
Yeah, what is that? Is it like printed paper?
Yeah, that's parchment paper they used to print it on. That was before your time, is. Let's see. Basically, that's what it's going to look like when it has a finish on it. One. Two. After I wet it down like that, I'll let it dry naturally. But today I may have to help it a little bit.
It's no cabinet maker's trick called put it in the bath.
Every time I turn this thing up wide open, I'll never forget. I was in Pensacola one time watching Jimmy Clues. He was turning this big block of wood. And one of the other guys there said, "Well, you turning that to 3,200. Why are you turning it 3,200?" He said, "That's as fast as it'll go." You know him, he likes to turn fast. So. We're going to shoot a little bit in. Go, guys. And once it's dry, I go back over it with a 320 again. Change direction. Get rid of all that 320 grit. Get it with the 400. Much as a 400.
Yeah.
Now, normally I would go ahead and apply a sealer, a sanding sealer, because it's easily done on the lathe. But now I'm going to stick my handle in. That's the wrong handle. Here's the right handle. It's a good fit. I put a little bead down there because it's hard to fit the contour of this. So I put a bead. You can see the handle sticking out on the end. Normally what I'll do is I'll come down and I'll put a pencil mark where it stands out. And I'll know how much I need to take off because I want it to be flush. So to do that, I'll use this. I don't remember which way this thing goes. Move my armrest here. Get the handy dandy little handle out. Turn that up there. So I get down about my pencil mark. Try it. We're almost there. Got about a 30 seconds. 54 somewhere. Now you can see it's flush inside of there.
Yep.
And while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and knock down that little bit of a nail I had left on that.
That was amazing, Johnny.
That's it. There's your handy dandy coffee scoop. Holds 2 tablespoons. And I know
That is awesome. And what kind of finish would you put on that?
I'd use lacquer for almost everything. But if you're going to use it there on coffee, you could get by with walnut oil. I like walnut oil too on things that are going to be used around food. But I do like lacquer. It's quick and easy. I just take a rattle can lacquer and hit it with it. So
Very nice.
Good job, Johnny.
that's all there is. Well, thank you.
That's not all there is, sir. We really appreciate it. That was really a good demonstration.
Very nice.
And
Very
folks, you
nice,
probably picked up some tricks or tips that Johnny was using throughout his exhibition here, his demonstration.